This is the second version of the Linux command for beginners, and as you can see, VS Code is open. And the reason I open VS Code is because I want you to visualize what we're actually doing on the screen. So I'll just go ahead to VS Code. I'll open a folder, and since I'm on my home directory, I'll create a new directory, and that's the directory I want to open in VS Code. So now that this directory is opened, we are going to perform series of activities within this very directory. And as you know, VS Code will allow us to open a terminal inside VS Code to be able to use it just like the terminal we are using outside, so that when we are creating files and others, we will be able to see them on this Explorer dashboard. So the first file operation command I want us to look at is the make directory. In the previous video, I spoke about the make directory, but this command I didn't utilize it because I wanted to do this second part of the video. So you can create directories by using the make directory command, and as you can see, the directory has appeared. There's nothing in the directory, and if you go here, you notice that the directory is empty. And you can create a directory under a directory. Like this, and as you can see, this the directory has been created. I can, so it cannot create such directory because this one I'm using a recursive format. So this is creating directories, and you can also remove directory using the remove directory command. I'm not looking at the deeper options because there are more options under these very commands, but we want to look at the basics of using these commands. We have the paste. I'm removing the directory inside test, and I can remove test as well. Test is gone. So this is how to create and remove directory for beginners, and you need to learn this so that you would not be stuck at any position when performing operations within maybe a particular application and you are inside the terminal. And this happens a lot inside VS Code because the location of your terminal uh, uh, might be different from the location of the file you're actually working on in VS Code and maybe or any other application. So you can be able to create and remove files inside the terminal. You can also create files. These are folders. You can also create files using the touch command. As you know, you can create files. You can create file. And you see that the file has appeared with the extension. And the extension, so the extension tells the application which very language you are creating the file with. So there are many other languages, so you must be careful with which type of files you are creating. And you can also create batch files. As you see, they are executables, and these are all files you can create. You can also create multiple folded files. You can create multiple files in the same location, and as you see, those ones have appeared. Now, apart from creating files, you can remove files, and that is when the rm command comes in. The rm command can remove files. As you can see, the other file is removed, and that's the command you can use to remove files. You can remove multiple files as well. So on the terminal, you can actually use the home and the end key to move between the beginning and the end of your line. So you should understand those factors as well. File cannot be removed because it is not found. But if file is not found, what can I do? Instead of going through the hassle of writing out file 1, file 2, I know that all of them have a common object, and which is the .txt. So I can remove everything with the .txt. Anything it has, whatever is that, this star means anything, then the .txt means anything with .txt extension. If I click this, you see that there is no file because the other ones have been skipped, but one was created. Let's create the file again. Let's create the files. So if you use the up and down arrows, you can be able to move between commands that you have already executed. So you can create and you can remove using the rm command. So these are common file operation actions that you can carry out inside VS Code. Now you can view the content of a file, but before we do that, I would run a command. I would explain what this command does in a moment. So we have learned how to create folders, how to delete folders, how to create files, how to delete files from the application, but we want to learn how to view the content of a file inside our terminal. As you can see, since I have VS Code, I can just click this file and view it inside my terminal, but that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is to use the terminal. So you can use the cat. The cat allows you to view the content of any file, any supported file. You see there's a lot. So this is actually the content of this file, and since this file is showing from top to bottom, this has gone very long and you might not be interested in a lot of the content, but that is just how to view files. The opposite of file of cat is tag, and it does the opposite. It lists from bottom to top. So instead of top to bottom, it lists from bottom to the top. So that is it. Then there's another file operation tag command. It's called a head, where you want to see just a few lines of the file. So by default it listed 10. This is about 9 or 10 lines. You can also use, that is the opposite of head is tail. It will show you the content of the file from bottom to top. So the tail will show you the last few lines in the file. So as you can see, it shows this is the first few lines and this is the last few lines. So those are simple commands, and as you know, in our terminal we should always use the clear when we don't need what we are seeing on the screen. Then there's another command which is the nano. Nano is an editor just like just like the VS Code. It's also a text editor. So nano would actually allow you to edit this file. And if you are a beginner in the in the Linux field, I would rather prefer you using Vim and Nano rather than using code editors like this, because they will teach you how to use uh, how to use they will teach you how to use the Linux environment better. I can exit from Nano by Ctrl X, or I can modify it and use. Then we also have another file operation command, which is WC. WC allows you to count the content of this file. So this file has about 111,000 lines. There is about 307. This is line. This is 7. These are lines. These are words. These are characters. So they are roughly around a few million characters. About 6 million characters in this very file .txt. So this is just coming from the app.list. I just used it as an example. Then there is also another file operation, grep, which you always use it with a pipe. I can cut my file. So what I used before was called the piping command. The piping command allows you to run multiple commands at the same time. So after running cut, I want you to run grep on cut on the cutted file, and what I want you to grep is install, or let's grep AMD 64. Now it will only list out files that have AMD 64, and we are going to have a lot. As you can see, we are going to have a lot, and we could even pipe it through WC as well, so that it will give us the output. So this, as you can see, it highlighted what I was grepping, and I can even write the output into another file. So this just a few of the Linux commands. Now the option I used before was to get, if let's use this, just like the cat .txt, I can pipe it into grep AMD 64, and I can also pipe it. Okay, I would now write it into file 2.txt. Now this is what happens. I want you to show me the content of file.txt, then filter it by removing any line that doesn't have AMD 64. Only show the lines that have AMD 64 on it, then write the content of the output to file.txt. So this is all that happens. As you can see, nothing showed on the screen unlike before, but if we WC into let's wc into file dot txt, then let's wc into file 2. So you see there's an enormous difference. About 59,000 lines have AMD64, while the full file was having something like this, and this is something you should learn. Now, if I decide to run the previous command again, if I run this command again using this very greater than sign, this will not have any effect on the file because it will erase what was inside and rewrite it. But if I use an option by adding another, if I add another greater than sign, this will continue from where it stopped. It starts from the last line, and then that means that what I have now is a duplicate file. So that is not what I want, because the information doesn't need to be duplicated. So this is what we have. So we have learned about